All right, what's up guys? Started working with JP Carroll and he was doing dumbbell RDLs and he noticed his left leg was shaking constantly when he was doing that. And that's a lack of hamstring strength, knee stability. Now, I did a video with Phil Daru a while ago where I showed the lateral knee stability, which is great to do before you squat and deadlift, where you're tossing the kettlebell back and forth while standing on one leg, create that lateral stability at the hip. This is at the knee itself. And so we squat, we use the hamstrings to load eccentrically as we lower down the squat to absorb force. We don't hip extend until we get above parallel. So getting to below parallel, having that knee stability, knee tracking, important things. We want to do what's called a long lever glute bridge. Makes sense in a second. This is phenomenal to do also if you've ever had a hamstring strain or hamstring injury or hamstring tear. This is a great way to rebuild it. Now, the glute bridge, hip thrust, we all know what hip thrust would be elevated, but glute bridge from the floor is legs are back and we're going into posterior tilt and squeeze the glute. Same thing, except the long lever brings us out here. So now I'm on my heels, not feet flat, I'm on my heels, and that becomes predominantly hamstring is hip extension. Form dictates function. Back here, mostly glutes, longer lever, mostly hamstrings. Now for him, lateral stability on the one side, posterior stability on the one side, we're gonna wanna be doing single leg and isometric holds for time. That is gonna get you a lot of glute, that's gonna get you a lot of hamstring. It actually wants to cramp because I just did the other thing. But that would be the way we do it. So we'd start on two legs, holding 30 seconds or doing 30 repetitions of that, ideally holding, and then progressing to the single leg, coming through this way. I had to do a lot of these when I tore my hamstring 9 years ago because there was such a discrepancy between my right and left because I had the medial hamstring tear on the left side. This was literally how I brought it back. This and doing very slow, controlled, eccentric, single leg RDLs with no support, even just body weight, learning to reestablish that positional stability. The demands are there always. The ability isn't always there if we've had structural damage or an issue, so we have to strengthen compensatory muscle groups to help pick up the slack whenever you've had an injury or problem. This would be something you would do when you've had hamstring strains, hamstring issues, or you have poor knee stability in the hole of a squat or towards the bottom of a deadlift, the knees buckle, build your hamstrings. Even though we're predominantly anterior chain and raw, we still utilize our hamstrings as shock absorption for the squat and of course hip extension for the deadlift, but it's the third strongest hip extensor. It shouldn't be loaded primarily for your deadlifts, but that's a whole other topic and a whole other rant. We'll get there.